Welcome everyone. We will talk about strategic quality planning in this presentations. So let us understand and proceed with the term strategy. What do we understand by this term strategy? Yes, strategy is the art and the science of using everything, all the forces of a nation to execute an approved plan as effectively, as smoothly as possible during the peace of war or in during the war. The science and art of military command as applied to overall planning conducting on a large scale combat operation per se. And strategy is nothing but a plan of action. It is nothing but action that and their bears and outcomes which is desirable or intended towards a specific goals as the case might be. So in short, it is an art, it is a skill of using stratagems in endeavors such as politics or business per se. Strategy and quality planning, what are we looking at into it? Many organizations are finding the strategy, quality plans and business plans are absolutely inseparable. In order to understand strategic planning, we need to understand the quality statement of any organizations per se. So what the organization, what is the reason for the existence of that organization? The quality statement are a part of strategic planning process. Once developed, are occasionally reviewed and updated. So we are talking about vision statement, we are talking about the mission statement, we are talking about the quality policies, the quality statement that include. The utilization of three statement varies from organization to organization. Many organizations may be used only the quality policy statement thereby. This is what is being transforming there. Vision statement, the vision statement is a short declaration of what an organization aspires to be tomorrow, as in where it sees itself in due courses of time. A vision statement, on the other hand, describes how the future will be envisioned, how the future will look if the organization achieves its mission. Successful visions are timeless. Successful visions are inspirational. Successful visions are deeply shared within the organization. Let us give us some example. For example, IBM's vision is for service. Apple is for computing for the masses. Disney theme park is the happiest place on the earth. And Polarize would be all about instant photography. Now, these are nothing but quality statement and all about vision that we are talking around here. The quality statement is again the mission statement where we can to look for certain imperative, certain driving force of organizations to be in existence. A mission statement occurs when an organization is all about. The statement answers the questions such as who we are, who are our customers and what do we do and how do we do it. The statement is usually one paragraph or less in length, easy to understand and describe the functions of the organization. Thereby it tells you exactly what is interested upon. It provides a clear statement of purpose for employees, for customers, and you name it, we'll have it. An example of mission statement is for the Ford Motor Company. It's a worldwide leaders in automotive related products, services, as well as newer industry such as aerospace, communication, financial services. Our mission is to improve continually, right? Our product, our services to meet our customer requirements, allowing us to prosper as a business fraternity, allowing us to prosper to give reasonable returns to our shareholders, the owners of our business. And that is what a mission statement might look around it. It's an example that has been given by Ford Motor Companies, and I'm just quoting the mission statement thereby. So it is a clear statement of purpose for employees, customers, and supplier. Statement is usually one paragraph or less in length, and so on. So seven steps of strategic planning. The process starts with the principle that quality and customer satisfaction are centered to the organization future. It brings together everyone under the fold, all the key stakeholders. Strategic planning can be performed by any organization. It can be highly effective, allowing the organizations to do the right things at the right time and every time at the go. So there are seven steps. Let me count those seven steps one by one for you to understand. First being the customer focus. It has to be the customer requirement at the forefront. Thereby we can go by the positioning. We are looking to predict the futures, chart the futures, navigate the future, understand what the future entails and what where are we. If there are any gaps, we need to analyze those gaps, probably close the gaps, alignment, and last but not is the implementation. So 7 steps of strategic quality planning is: one, discover customer needs; two, customer position; three, predict the future; four, gap analysis; five, closing the gap; six, alignment; seven, implementation thereby. So these are the 7 steps that is very pertinent. So let us identify each of the steps and elaborate upon it. Customer needs are the first step to discover the future requirement of the customers, how the taste and the preference of the customers are going to change, who will be they be, where will they be, what will be the base, how would they react, and what is it that the organization can do to meet such changes. Second is all about customer position. Next, the planner determines where the organization wants to be in relation to the customer. Do they want to retain? Do they want to reduce? Do they want to expand the customer base? Product or services with poor service quality should be targeted for breakthrough or eliminated. The organization needs should be concentrated in its effort on areas of excellence. Predict the future is the third step. Next, the planner must look at their crystal balls and probably extrapolate of whatever has been happening in the real world time altogether. They should be able to predict the future conditions that will affect their products or services. Demographic, economic forecast, and technical assessment of predictions are the tools that will help you to predict the future thereby. This is what we are looking forward to. We come to the gap analysis. This step requires the planner to identify the gaps between the current state and the future state of the organization. An analysis of the core values, the concept, its excellence technique for pinpointing the gaps. If you can pinpoint the gaps, half of your battle is already won altogether. Why? Because it will ensure that you are already on the right path. So once gap has been identified, the next best thing is to close that gap. This is what we are looking into it, to develop what can be done so as the gap that has been identified can be eliminated altogether. The alignment has to be there. As the plan develops, it must be aligned with the mission, with the vision of the companies, the core values and the concept of the organization. Without this alignment, the plan will have little or no chance of success at the first place. The last step is implementation. So we have identified the customers, we have identified the future requirement of the customers, we have identified the gap, we have identified the process to fill up the gap. Now is a time when we are not only aligning our values, but also we are ensuring that action happens in the positive direction. The last step is frequently the most difficult one. The resources must be made allocated, the data has to be collected, designing changes, overcoming resistance to change. Everything becomes part and parcel of the companies altogether. So strategies, planning in the business, how do we go across it? Let us talk about the corporate strategy and what are the patterns of decision that comes around it. First is determine, shapes and reveal its objective, purpose or goals thereby. What are we looking forward to and how do we strive to achieve it? This is what needs to be ascertained altogether. Then produces principal policies, plans for achieving these goals, time and again, as the case might be. We are talking about uh, the definition of the business company intends to be in. Absolutely, yes. We are talking about the natures of the economic contribution it intends to make to the shareholders. Now, this has been pinpointed by Professor Andrew Christians of Harvard Business School, and that is what we are talking about in strategic planning process of business altogether. Here, Michael E. Porter, one of the management gurus, the most popular of the writers, describes a broad formula of how a business is going to compete, what the goals should be, what the policies will be needed to carry these goals all together. This is what we are looking forward to. Business definition for competitive advantages thereby. Now, what are we looking out here? A factor giving an advantage to a nation, company, group, or individual in competitive terms. What are happening? Uh, used by Michael Porter for the title of his classic text in the International Corporate Strategy, The Competitive Advantage of Nations, 1990. One of the bestsellers and a landmark in terms of management philosophical books could be considered. I request audiences to ensure that they read this particular books. It will be an eye opener for understanding the competitive advantages, understanding how a business operates. The concept of competitive advantages derives from the ideas of comparative advantages of the 19th century economist David Ricardo. Let me take you to what exactly has been meant by strategic quality management. How we go about the quality management teams per se. The management of strategic quality planning begins right at the top. It is a job of the chairman. It is the job of the chief executive officer to make the ultimate decision, and this cannot be pushed aside. This cannot be delegated. You have to remember that the buck stops at the right at the top. They are essentially responsible for it. The component remains nevertheless all about mission, the quality statement, the product, the market scope, the competitive edge, as in the differentiation vis-a-vis your competitors, supporting policies, objective, organizational culture is what we are looking forward to. The quality statement, the quality policies, is the guide for everyone in the organization as to what they should look forward to products, services, customer. It should be written by chief executive officer with a feedback from workforce and be approved by the quality council. A quality policy is a requirement made by ISO 9000. A simple quality policy, what does it goes about it? It tells the Xerox is a quality company. Quality is a basic purpose and principles of Xerox. Quality means providing external and internal customers with innovative products, with innovative services that fully satisfy the requirement. Quality is the job of each and every individual employees out there. Now, this is a simple quality policy of Xerox that I've quoted out here for you to understand altogether what exactly is meant by quality statement. Let us understand the product scope, the market scope. In terms of strategic planning, an organization needs to think, what am I selling and to whom am I selling at all, if at all it is happening. A company does not simply sell a product or a service. It sells values to a particular segment of the market thereby. We are talking about values is what customers, not the company says it is. We are talking about quality that is defined differently in a different market segment. Each company must define the market segment. Each company might define the customer value in that segment. It will give you an idea about what exactly are we looking into it. Is it the market scope that we need to focus on, or is it the product scope that we need to focus on? So these are all a part of strategic planning. Is it a developed country that we are looking to do our launching our product, or it is a developing countries we are looking to launch our product? Where are we selling? What are we selling? What is the value? What is the customer looking like, and so on and so forth. And the last thing will be of decision. The purchase decision is a function of price and quality. Price is generally known, but quality is in the mind of individual customer, and that needs to be polished and kept shining every now and then. In today's highly competitive world, in competitive environment, a product, a service is all that matters. Competitive edge, frequently called differentiation, is the best explained by Michael Porter in his landmark book of competitive advantage. Why should I buy? Why should I buy, if at all, and from you? That is the question. So Porter's identified two generic strategies. They are all of cost leadership and differentiation. Overall, cost leadership requires aggressive constructions of efficient scale facilities, vigorous pursuit of cost reduction from experiences, tight cost and overhead control, cost minimization in areas like R&D, service, sales force, advertising, and so on. And last but not the least would be your differentiation, creating something that has been perceived by the buyers as unique as possible. And this is what we are looking forward to. Cost leadership tells you about the aggressive constructions, the efficient scales of facilities, that comes around it. So are we looking at the mass market? Are we looking at a niche market? What kind of differentiation that we are trying to drive in? The component of strategic planning. Let us understand what Peter Drucker says. Now, Peter Drucker says a company has only one objective. And what is that? It is to create customer. A company has but one objective, to create customers. Following statement, he proceeds to popularize the concepts of management by objective. MBO is the term that has been very popular among the management students, and identified 8 key areas to be said. First being marketing, second being innovation, third being human organization, fourth being financial resources, fifth is physical resources, sixth is productivity, seventh is social responsibility, eighth is profit requirement. So these are the 8 pillars, 8 areas where you need to work upon your management by objective. You've got to set objective for yourself for every quarter, for every year, and go ahead with it. Be it marketing, innovation, human organization, financial resources, physical resources, productivity, social responsibility, and profit requirement, as the case might be. So various approaches to view quality. How does it we go across it? Quality means different to different people. They have different perceptions altogether. So the approaches to address this by the business has to be unique and different every time and then. Marketing, the performance, features, service, focus on the customer concern is of prime importance. For engineering, the specification, the product-based concern is all of the important consideration that needs to be taken care of. Manufacturing is, on the other hand, is all about confirmation to the specification or cost reduction, as the case might be. So you see, every department have their own requirement, be it marketing, be it engineering, be it manufacturing, as the case might be. Marketing segmentation. Quality means different to different people. In terms of strategic quality management, this means that a firm must define the segment in which they are going to work, the segment of the industry, the segment of the customer group. You need to understand this thing very thoroughly. If you can define the problem, I'm sure your solutions arrival will be much smoother and much easier. The business that needs to be defined product line, each of which is to market to a different part of the markets, each with differing qualities, attributes per se, as the case might be. The component of strategic planning. Well, now let us talk about the supporting policies thereof. Policies are guidelines for actions, for decision making, to for with only one thing in the mind, to attain the objective, to achieve the goals that you have set for yourself. Taken together, a company policy delineates its strategy fairly well. Tell me your policies and I can tell you your strategies thereby. This is what we all keep on saying around here. The component of static policies are the wheels that are coming around here. If you look into it, the differentiation, the mission, objective, and it can change from product line to marketing to sales to distribution to manufacturing to suppliers to human resource to R&D or research and development to financial control, the movement of money, and the target market is the audience that we're looking into it. So here is the policy wheel, and each of this segment, each of these aspects can be refined, can be targeted, and can be worked upon, be it product line, be it suppliers, be it distribution, be it research and development, be it profitability, be it human resources, whatever you look into it. The policy wheels will give you ample amount of scope to design for strategic planning, the quality wise if you are looking into it. So let us understand this consistency and illustration of the policies. Let's say the target market, map the industry. See those segments where you have an advantage. It can be the mass market or it can be a niche market if you're looking into it. Product line breadth is confined to those products whose value chain is appropriate. Value chain means where it makes sense to be there. There is a sizable market share, there's a sizable market growth rate potential to be there. So if we can develop product on those basis only. Marketing is market research to be directed towards defining the expectation of the customers. Obviously, yes, if you have decided upon the problem, if you have made the problem very ambivalently clear, it is very easy for you to come or arrive to a solution. Sales force to be hired, trained, promoted over competitive edge. Distribution is selecting distribution that complement the quality image or the quality edge per se. Manufacturers invest in automation for improvement in quality and productivity. Suppliers select suppliers that have applied the Baldrige Awards. Make life contract if we can go across with it. Make a long-term contract. Human resource requires skills, requires experience level for new hires, partnership, relationship with the unions, research and development, percent of budget devoted to quality improvement, product design for ease of repair. Finance is service procedure is billing activity, financial arrangements with suppliers. Thereby, we come to the very last slide for this presentation, as in the organization culture. When an organization chooses to make a quality a major competitive edge, it becomes the central issue in quality planning form in the mission to supporting the policies. Therefore, it is imperative to develop an organization culture. When organization cultures are vibrant, when organization cultures are positive, when organization culture pervades across the organization, across the employees, everyone has a clear idea what is expected of them, what is the product in terms of customer values, be it a physical product or be it a service that they are intending into it. Things will become much more easier. The quality will be of the desired quantum. With this, I come to an end of this presentation. Thank you for watching this video.